Alright, it's starting. Let's go! Let's friggin' go! Here we go! Okay. Tell us already, damn it! Stop stalling!
Throughout our history, ordinary people have done extraordinary things,
Okay.
illuminating our potential. They inspired movements, created the impossible, and destroyed the indestructible. Ordinary people chose to change the world, chose to dream, to build, to hope, to always hope. And if there's hope for one of us, there's hope for us all. Now it's your turn to reimagine civilization and build something you believe in.
Yep, there we go, February 11th. I mean, I don't hate it, but like I said earlier, she's going to have a hard time beating Sean Bean, in my opinion, because he did such a good job narrating Civilization 6. English language is Krystyna Czubowna. Yeah, that's a joke only Polish people will understand.
Here at Firaxis Games, we'd like to welcome you to a first look at the next chapter in our Civilization franchise.
Let's go!
Civilization 7. You know, looking back 30 years ago, Civilization was created during a time when we were still learning what games could really be. We were searching for that next big challenge to take on.
Yeah, how old is he now, like 70?
What could be greater than putting the entire history of the world into a video game and make it fun? 3 decades later, it's because of
Fun in my video game?
your love for Civ that we're still here today. In every game of Civ, you've gone on a journey to build an empire to stand the test of time. And now the journey continues. Prepare to take just one more turn on February 11th, 2025, when we launch Civilization 7 across PC and consoles, all on day one.
Okay,
The first time in franchise history.
interesting.
This is by far the biggest, the most ambitious game we've ever made at Firaxis. It represents a significant gameplay evolution for the Civ franchise, and it's a game we plan to support for many years to come. Today, you'll learn about the vision for the game, the driving force that inspired our biggest new feature. You'll see your Civ world brought to life like never before, and you'll discover why Civilization 7 promises to be a revolutionary new chapter in
Okay.
the franchise that we all love so dearly. Please enjoy.
Well, give us the game then, so that we can enjoy it, obviously.
Civilization is the foundation of Firaxis. Whether you've been playing since the MS-DOS days or have joined us more recently, we're so grateful for your continued passion and support. When you walk around our studio, you can feel the energy and excitement. You can see how inspired our people are to come in and build the next Civ game.
Civilization is the ultimate historical strategy game. Your goal in Civ is to build an empire to stand the test of time. You select a civilization, led by a famous historical leader, and guide your Civ's journey across the entire span of human history. You shape your empire piece by piece, from what technologies you want to research to what civics you want your society to uphold. And you compete with others on the world stage, engaging in diplomacy,
Okay,
negotiating
that
alliances,
looks pretty good.
and sometimes going to war.
In every Civilization game, your empire has always been represented by a single civilization. You play through the entire span of history.
Oh no, is this going where I think it's going?
This time around, we want to take you on a new journey.
Yep, yep.
For the first time ever,
Multiple leaders.
Civilization 7, the story of your empire isn't just that of a single Civ. but several
I
connected
don't
together through time.
know how I feel about that.
At the dawn of each new age of human advancement, you'll select a new civ to represent your empire. You'll build on and carry forward your previous achievements while unlocking new
I don't know how I feel about that.
or pivot your strategy. And by the end, you'll have forged
Oh no, pivot!
path through history. To show you what we mean, let's take you through the story of one such empire.
Okay, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Depends on the execution, but yeah.
It is the dawn of a new age. The age of antiquity. Where humanity begins to...
But that combined with the visuals give me like bit of a Humankind 2 vibe.
The great pharaoh, Hatshepsut.
Okay, we got some unique stuff on the left right there.
Of ancient
That ended too quickly.
among the arid desert lands
Okay.
and a winding river.
We can see some of the UI here.
of our people are
I mean, visually it looks more than fine.
to discover what
Like,
treasure
visually it does look good. I do like the visuals.
a brave scout begins to survey and map the surrounding lands.
But are they still fond of pigs?
As our population grows, a new granary is built to store food for hungry mouths.
Okay, is this the expansion of the district idea? Yep, so every building will now be placed on a tile.
And construction begins.
From the looks of it, at least.
With more food available,
So, like, my prediction was correct earlier.
land. An ancient fruit, ripe for cultivating, is spotted.
You're right, even the UI is
Provide
closer to
more sustenance
Humankind.
for our citizens. And their sweetness will make the people happy.
Maybe Granary is a district?
A plantation
True, maybe, but probably not.
harvest this valuable resource. Over time,
No more builders? Wait, really?
continues to grow as more urban
Yeah, but I don't think every building will be on its own tile. Because we saw some screenshots earlier with like massive cities.
in technology to serve
Yep.
the needs of our people.
Okay, irrigation,
Breakthroughs in
Tech unlocked.
irrigation further enhance
Garden.
our food production.
+1 settlement limit.
Sailing unlocks
Okay.
our ability to traverse the
Wait,
Nile.
oh no, there's going to be a hard limit on how many settlements you can have.
It is now possible to journey further,
Eh,
expand our empire.
eh,
With a deft hand, our scout travels along a navigable river.
no.
Tenacity is rewarded with the discovery
I always liked having the option
series of waterfalls.
between
This natural wonder of the world attracts the
tall and wide.
of our people, and brave settlers begin the long trek to claim
Don't
new
like
lands
hard
of the
limits.
Egyptian empire.
Yeah, I like soft caps, I don't like hard limits.
Is established near the majestic falls. A town starts from humble beginnings and is initially used to gather nearby resources.
Yeah, navigable rivers would be nice.
Perhaps in the future, this town will grow large enough to specialize and gain its...
I don't like it visually. It looks pretty damn good visually.
Our expansion does not go unnoticed,
This is what Civ 6 should have been visually.
revealing the existence of a nearby independent power.
Okay.
Initial hostilities
Befriend independent.
as friendly relations
Okay.
begin to form. And peace does not dampen our ambitions. Our people strive forth to create great wonders the world has never seen before.
Barbarians Plus.
As we continue to expand and explore the continent, we encounter new civilizations.
Okay.
They are eager to engage in a bartering of ideas and
Denounce military infiltration.
established,
That sounds interesting.
providing mutual access to each.
Reveal chance 50%.
But our rapid growth does not go unnoticed. Our neighbors' ambitions rival our own, setting us on a collision
They should actually like fight each other in this scene.
is no longer
Not just be totally two independent characters, but actually like fight each other. Round 1, fight! Fatality.
formidable commanders who spur our forces quickly across the land. Spears and arrows make way for iron swords.
And when you eliminate somebody completely, you could actually decapitate their leader. I know that would never happen in a Civ game, But just imagine if it did. Bring in the guillotine. That would never happen
Of this age,
because of the ratings. But imagine if it did.
empire to its core. The world changes. We feel the pages of history turn as the age of antiquity comes to a close. A new age.
Okay,
of
the age of
human
antiquity
advancement
comes to an
approaches.
end.
The age of exploration. A new age brings
Okay.
forth new challenges and new
Legacies.
opportunities. New technologies to research.
Some of these look pretty big.
Resources to acquire. New lands to explore.
Did we skip medieval times?
If we are to take on the challenges of this
maybe.
age, we must adapt
Songhai. Okay.
and select a new civilization
Unique merchant.
to represent our empire. One that is better
All right.
equipped to take on the challenges of the exploration age.
The text is a little bit small,
New
like on the
civilization
monitor I'm watching it on.
of its past legacy. And our actions in this age will inevitably influence a future yet to come. As we evolve,
Support, accept, reject. Okay.
the stage is set. A new age begins. Will you follow a path set by history? Or will you pivot and forge something anew?
Pivot!
What kind of empire will you make?
The water looks a little bit weird.
Strategies will you pursue?
Sid Meier's Humankind. True.
To create?
You know what would be funny? If humankind got a resurgence of activity because of this. That would actually be really funny.
Of that time.
But can Germany have that guy in that time?
Like a historical sandbox.
You know the guy. Probably not.
Being inside an age is exclusive to that.
But that's the first thing that came to my mind when he said that. I'm sure mods will add it.
you gained, which independent powers surround you, to even things like gameplay systems and civilizations, all unique to that age.
Bismarck, Kappa. Yeah.
Something we're really excited about. In the past, every civ needed to be balanced across a game that spans all.
Oh, now it's the B word.
This naturally resulted in things like late era civs
Yeah,
in
elephants.
the late game, but weak early on. Now we can balance
Okay.
around the age
Gain the
of
Piety Civic for free.
This means we can give every civ
Infantry replacement with no maintenance, plus free combat strength.
and buildings that are always relevant and powerful. Having exclusive civs per age is also great for historical immersion.
Okay, exclusive civs per age. What does that remind you of?
Showdown of some of the great powers of that time.
We'll have 3 ages for you to play. The Antiquity Age, when agricultural society...
Okay, you know what my prediction is? I predict that suddenly a lot of people online who are shitting on humankind will suddenly start talking about how good these ideas were. Because now Civilization 7 is doing it. Just watch, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. People will start talking how these were like totally great ideas. Like, it's gonna happen.
From the development of the steam engine to the splitting of the atom. Every age can be played on its
Oh hey, Nuke.
or woven together into a full campaign.
Looks kind of mid.
In past games, civs and leaders were always tied together and came as a package deal of agendas, abilities, units, and more.
Okay.
With civs being exclusive to ages, we're excited to introduce a new innovation for leaders. For the first time in franchise history, leaders are now selected independently from civilizations.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Unique parts of different civs and leaders.
It's gonna be a meme.
Making all new strategic combinations, staying true to Civ's spirit of experimentation. For players who want to stick to more historical pairings, a use
So we can have Napoleon leading Japan or something like that. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Opportunity to expand who we consider to be a leader in civilization.
The age guy of Egypt? Yeah, true.
Heads of state such as Hatshepsut. But we're also excited
Are you interested in the trade agreement with Rome? Yeah.
philosophy, religion, science, and more.
Having leaders stay the same.
Willkommen, I am Bismarck, Pharaoh of Assyria.
Playing against in
True.
Civilization 7. It also gives you the opportunity to keep the theme of evolution
It's definitely gonna lead to some memes.
from one age to the next. It's important that
Okay, expansionist, militaristic, scientific, and economic, diplomatic.
attributes that can further specialize your skills. These attributes can be gained in a
Man.
variety of ways, from completing
This really is humankind too.
for researching certain technologies and civics.
Okay.
Overall, leaders are getting a huge upgrade. They're more powerful, more varied, and more strategically interesting than ever. We cannot wait for you to discover your new favorite leader in Civilization 7.
Man,
When one age
can I
ends,
copy your homework?
transition,
Yeah, but change it a little bit so it's not obvious.
you'll select a new civilization to represent your empire in the new age. You'll choose parts of your past civ to carry forward into the new one. And the game map literally expands, filled with
I am Suleiman, leader of Greece. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
discoveries to be made.
Oh, there will be so many mad people
Age transition
about some of the combinations.
determine which civ you can evolve into. This includes any historical connections between your previous and future civ, your choice of leader.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not too hot on this change.
Every civ plays differently. Across your game, you might want to stay as true to history as possible, only selecting civs that have historical ties to each other,
Oh, you didn't just go there, Kelvin.
that fit your strategic needs.
There are so many possible paths to explore, so many different choices you can make. The potential for strategy in Civilization 7 is nearly endless.
Something we hear often from players is about how when you play a game of Civ, you forget the world around you.
But will we have Shaka in Civilization 7?
Any other medium have this ability to completely immerse you in another universe. Whether it's through art,
You know, there are only few leaders left
moments,
that were present in every single Civilization game.
your Civ
Shaka being one of them.
Getting the look and feel for Civilization 7 right is critical. So it's important to make sure we
Why only 3 ages though? DLC for more, Kappa. That, but without the Kappa.
in the diorama sections. And being able to walk by and see these little
RAM control face must be in there, yeah.
story told in them was something that I always found intriguing. Technology changes every time we put one of these games out, and each time we put one out, we can do more. And we're at a spot in the industry now where we've just got a lot of tools and a lot of power under our belts to represent the entire world of Civilization. We're hoping that the players can look into this game, see the diametric detail on this, and tell their own stories.
Will we finally have Belgium in the modern age?
Going to fit together
Okay, but we are only including actual real countries. Like, come on
a
now.
more realistic version of the simulation that you're trying to create. We took a lot what we learned in the Civ 6 and learned from that, trying to open up some more spaces and everything. And we adjusted the tone from 6 a bit, and I think it's what our fans are looking for, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for them. It's something that nobody else
The place England, Germany, and France made to fight wars in. True, true.
I think players will love how combat looks.
Okay, combat. Let's go.
Variety of units in Civ 7. Units now.
Okay, okay. If they do humankind tactical combat,
clashing of swords.
I'm going to actually lose my mind.
Units have a
I will literally lose my mind if they do that.
everything from the little parts and pieces and details on
Like, I will straight up lose my mind if they do that right now.
entire representation of a whole army on a battlefield.
I mean, I assume there will be, like, fast animation option. They just weren't going to use that for this.
Firaxis takes its representation of different cultures in Civ 7 very seriously. Language is a critical part of civilization.
Oh yeah, language. They need a Polish leader, and they need him to say kurwa. That's the true culture representation. As a Polish person, I demand my kurwas in Civilization 7.
And it's important to our players. They want to see their cultures represented correctly.
Kurwa DLC, true.
Some players have never seen their cultures represented anywhere else. It brings great pride and joy to be able to see themselves included in the history of the world.
Music also plays an important role in bringing out the spirit and essence of each civilization. Every Civ has its own theme, and we're excited to share that Chris Tin, who composed the Grammy Award-winning theme Baba Yetu for Civilization 4 and the main theme for Civilization 6, is returning for Civilization 7.
Okay.
And we cannot wait for you to hear it.
Yeah, what Nerfox said. It can mean anything you want. It's the most universal curse word in Polish.
What's to come in Civilization 7? We have so
It literally means everything, depending on the context.
gameplay deep dives, to first looks at new leaders and civilizations, to what you can expect from Civ 7 post-launch.
Okay.
Sid Meier's Civilization 7 releases on February 11th, 2025, and is available to pre-order today. Players who pre-order Civilization 7 will receive the Tecumseh Shawnee Pack. And if you haven't already, be sure to create a 2K account and sign up for our Civ newsletter to receive
Yeah,
the latest updates.
give us your data.
Doing so will unlock the exclusive Emperor persona for Napoleon in Civilization 7. And as a special thank you, if you use that same 2K account to play Civ 6, you'll automatically unlock Napoleon's revolutionary persona in Civ 7. Check out our website at civilization.com for full details, and be sure to follow Civ for all the latest.
We hope you enjoyed this first look
I like how he didn't say anything about the price or the early access thing for Deluxe Edition. Like, that's the worst trend in gaming today. The whole early access kind of thing that you pay $120 for.
Welcome Civ 7 into the Civ family. I think back to the legacy of Civilization. The 30
Weebipolion.
development, refinement, iteration, exploration of the millions of players that have contributed, of the billions of hours that have been played. I'm so proud to be here for this moment, welcoming Civ 7 into the family. February 11th, 2025 isn't too far away. We're excited to be taking this journey with you.
Okay. Are you guys excited to take this journey? So, let's talk about this a little bit. So, how do I feel about this? First, let's start from the positives. So, okay, positives. I think the visual style is generally positive. I really like the way it looks. It is a little bit ironic that a lot of things about Civ 7 seem to be like pretty damn close to Humankind, and definitely inspired by it to some extent. So I do like the visual style. I think they did a pretty good job with it. That's probably the biggest positive. That is by far the biggest positive for me. The visual style. But the visuals can only do so much when it comes to carrying the game. Everything else, I have very mixed feelings about the leader thing. I don't know how I feel about it. I didn't think it was a great idea in Humankind, and I don't think it's a great idea in 7. It depends on what the execution will be like, so maybe it will be really well executed. Perhaps. But I'm not too hot on that idea for the same reasons I didn't like it too much in Humankind. So the one thing is that it makes you feel way more disconnected from the empire you're building, at least from my perspective. It lacked a very clear identity. That was my biggest issue with Humankind. The empire you were building lacked like a very clear identity. That was one thing. And I think people really do like to play the same general empire for the entire game. And the second thing is immersion. Now, there are plenty of people who don't really care about immersion. You could also make an argument that there are plenty of things that are not immersive about Civilization, which is a completely fair argument. But for me, having, let's say, like, I don't know, Shaka leading Germany, or, I don't know, Queen Victoria leading Japan, or America. Can you imagine, like, an English leader leading America? So I think that to me is a little bit too immersion breaking. I don't like that entire idea. I think it will lead to memes, and I do think it will discourage some people. So I do not have any kinds of game statistics. I'm going to like purely guess right now, but I'm willing to bet there are many people who play Civilization and only ever play primarily one leader, their leader. I do not have any sales data on how many people, how many like new players bought Civilization after their country was added to it for the first time ever. But I'm willing to bet it was a lot. So I do think having the leaders disconnected from their civilizations and furthermore not having you lead the same civilization for the entire game will take away from that. It definitely will for me. Unless maybe they will have a good mechanic to like keep just one of them. But then you won't be able to play as like the more modern ones. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think... I'm not too hot on this idea. Okay, here was like a visual representation of this. Locked requires... Okay, wait. Okay, so some of these unlocks will require you to do certain things in-game. Like, in order to get Mongolia, you need to get 3 horse... Okay, I don't like this. In fact, I actually actively hate this. Because how many of my games have you guys watched where I got so screwed by the RNG, by the map generation? This is a terrible idea. This will literally require you to restart the game multiple times to be able to play the leader that you want to play. Actual terrible idea. It still sucks to play as a leader who relies on horses while not having horses, but at least you can have some degree of control over that. You can trade. You can maybe conquer someone who has horses without having them yourself. This is actually a bad idea, the way I see it. As someone who has terrible RNG, I do not like this. I do not like this. So this is, from my point of view right now, this is a negative. One thing that was, I think, positive were the districts. I don't know if I can find it. I mean, this is decent. So it seemed that every building has its own tile. So every building is built in the actual world, which is how these cities get so big. Some of the footage here showed really, really huge cities. Like stuff like this. That's how they get so big. Because it seemed like every building actually uses its own tile. That's probably a good thing. It really depends on how it's going to play. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. So I have a few questions. Because of how big cities are going to be on the map, how is war and a siege going to work? How exactly are you going to siege a city this big? That's one question I have. And the second, how is movement going to work? Are you going to move from one end to the other instantly? Are you going to need 50 years of in-game time to technically move from one end of the city to the other? Like a good question from my point of view here. If you're going to move from any point of your city to any other point of your city instantly with a unit, that will lead to a lot of cheese. On the other hand, if you're going to move normally across your city, it will potentially lead to a situation where you have a massive city and you need multiple turns to just get from one end of that city to the other. Which is maybe not a huge deal, but it feels kind of weird. But overall, I think this is a positive. They might also change like the scale of the map. Okay, they might change the scale of the map, that would be interesting. You could give all the units much more movement and make the map much bigger. That is a thing they could do. If every unit in the game had, let's say, at least, I don't know, 3 or 4 movement points, and you made the entire map bigger. Check this. Okay, Army Commander. I assume this right here is movement. 1 out of 4. Yeah, they could change the scale of the map because of how big the cities are going to be. That probably makes sense. I think they will have to do that. Yeah, there's a leader perk screen. Anyway, here we got an army commander with seemingly 4 movement points. Oh yeah, they had navigable rivers, like over here. I like that, because that was a huge deal historically, so I definitely like that. It's a small but good addition. Somebody said there were no builders or workers. Not sure how I feel about that. Okay, here's a settler. So settler has 3 movement points. You see it right here. I wonder if that's going to be the slowest unit or not. But a settler has 3 movement points. I assume that's movement points right here. Is he going to move right now? But 3 movement points on a settler, compared to 2 in the Civilization 6. I'm curious to see whether like 3 movement points would be the slowest unit in the game. Because it would make sense. Then the map as a whole could be bigger to make more space for these massive cities. Because unstacking cities to this degree will require changing the scale of the map. Like, I think it will require changing the scale of the map. Like, at least the way I see it. Okay, what else can we look at in here? Okay, plus, yeah. So this is something I'm concerned about. The settlement limit. We don't know whether this is going to be a hard limit or a soft limit. I hope this is going to be a soft limit. I really hope this is not going to be a hard limit. I really hope that's not going to be the case. Because I hate hard limits. It could technically not be a hard limit in the sense that you're literally not allowed to build more than that, but something like Age of Wonders 4, for example, which is a game I really like otherwise, the city limit in Age of Wonders 4 was a pretty hard limit. You were technically allowed to build more cities, but it was effectively a hard limit, because the penalty for going over the limit was extremely harsh. So if the penalty is really harsh, it will effectively be a hard limit. But I don't like the idea of this. I definitely don't like that idea. I like when the game has like a clear possibility to go tall or go wide. This is something I really enjoyed about Civilization 5. In Civilization 5, you could play tall or you could play wide. They were both perfectly viable playstyles. I personally preferred tall, but that doesn't mean you couldn't play wide. You absolutely could. So that's something I really liked about Civ 5. I hope they won't completely remove that option in the Civ 6. Because one thing I'm worried about is that you will not have tall or wide. You will have the technically most optimal number of cities to have at any given point in time, you know? So at this point in the game, the most optimal number of cities to have is 3. If you have more than 3 or less than 3, you are objectively playing it wrong. I hope it's not going to take that route. I really hope it's not going to take that route. So that's how I feel about that. Yeah, I really like the way terrain looks. Like visually, I think it's good. Is this supposed to be a forest? Or like some shrubbery? Okay, I don't know. Like this looks like a forest. Obviously. So there's a clear difference between this and this. Right? Oh yeah, this might be like a plantation or something like that, maybe. Or a resource. Yeah, it's probably a resource. Okay, here's a city. So this is a city with 13 population. Presumably. Can't really see a whole lot on this view. That's the settler again that we saw earlier. Okay, some units. Okay, projects on the left. Yeah, can't see a whole lot in there. Befriend independent. Inside raid. Okay, so it sounds like you will be able to pay independents to raid somebody. Kind of like bribing barbarians. They haven't really showed barbarians much. Have they showed barbarians at all? Or just like independents? This looks more like a version of a city-state. Yeah, I don't think they showed actual barbarians. Just like minor civilizations that are already present on the map. The difference between one or the other, for me, is that the barbarians just spawn completely randomly on the map, which I never liked too much, to be totally honest. Barbarians as a concept removed as a historical, calling it now. You might be right. You might be right. Improved trade relations, denounce. I want to see like what this is. Espionage, military infiltration. I want to see what exactly this does. But it looks like they will have some form of espionage pretty early in the game, which I like. What I don't like is that this is pure RNG, 50%. What's that 40? Is that like 40 gold? Wait, does this say break alliance at the bottom? I can see from the Twitch UI. Come on, remove the UI. No, form alliance. Okay, okay. But yeah, I want to see what exactly this does. So this is 100% success chance and 50% reveal chance. Okay. Yeah, I want to see what exactly that does. Because I did want to see, like, expanded espionage. They should totally, like, fight each other right here. I know it's not gonna happen, but would be fun. Alright? That's like a pillaged city. Rome! Oh no, the sacking of Rome. Wait, wait. Are these like shields, like with a cow pattern or something? Like, am I crazy? Yeah, it's probably Shaka, you're right. But it looked like a cow pattern or something. Yeah. Taking cowhide shields maybe a little bit too literally. But alright. Oh no, Cleopatra of the Zulu. Or whatever. Yeah, exploration age has begun. So did they really only have 3 ages? That's kind of weird. Okay, here we got some stuff we can look at. Choose legacies. So add legacies or select a preset to plan your civilization in this age. So these are things that you select at the start of the age. We can see like you spend something here, like 2 points, 1 point. Gain 1 city to place. That's kind of big. Gain 1 town to place. So your cities will start as towns that will have to grow to full city status. Gain 1 wildcard attribute point. Gain 3 ancient walls in all settlements. Gain an army consisting of 2 infantry. Okay, wait. So will they have an actual like combined arms system of some sort? Maybe. Gain an army consisting of 2 infantry units. Sounds promising. I would like to see more of that. Gain an army consisting of 2 ranged units. I want to see mixing of different unit types. I hope it's not just going to be the same unit type mixed into like a bigger army. I would really like to see some kind of combined arms system. So have an army consisting of infantry and a ranged unit. Or infantry and a cavalry unit. Something like that. Gain the economic civic for free. Gain the piety civic for free. Gain 1000 gold on standard speed. Gain free population in your capital. Gain cartography technology for free. Gain machinery technology for free. Gain astronomy technology for free. Alright. So here he had 3 points to spend, right? 5. Okay, 5 points, and there are different categories. Alright. Okay, here, Songhai. Let's read some of this. Plus 15 trade out range to cities on navigable rivers. And you're... Okay, so to me that suggests you're going to have navigable rivers and non-navigable rivers. Because why have a distinction if all of them were navigable? So that sounds like only some rivers will be navigable, not all of them. Which, to be fair, probably makes sense. But to me, that's what this means. Otherwise, there would not be a distinction. Like, if every river was the same, there would not be a distinction here. And your trade ship's gonna be plundered on navigable rivers. Plus 30% production towards constructing the Tomb of Askia. Songhai unique infantry unit. Plus 5 combat strength on resource tiles. Okay. Plus 100% gold from pillaging trade routes. Songhai unique merchant. Civilian unit. A civilian who can establish a trade route to import resources from a foreign settlement. When you create a trade route, receive 100 gold if this is a trade route with at least one navigable river. Okay. +5 gold. Gold adjacency for navigable rivers. Okay, so adjacencies are still going to be a thing, which is probably not surprising at all. But this pretty much confirms adjacencies are still a thing. Does not remove warehouse bonuses on a tile. Now that's an interesting line. Okay, hold on. There are a few things in here. There are a few interesting things in here. There's one keyword in here. Ageless. So to me, that kind of suggests that some improvements will be restricted to certain ages, which probably makes sense. You know what game also did that? Friggin' Humankind. Is this seriously like Humankind 2? This literally feels like Humankind 2 in a lot of ways. And does not remove warehouse bonuses on a tile. Interesting. Feels like they ran out of ideas in this one. I'm really interested in how this will compare to ARA History Untold, which is coming in September. I'm really curious how this is going to compare to that. Yeah, choose Songhai. And here we have an option for the leader. Players... wait, is it? I'm really confused what this is. Players Aksum, Players Egypt, Players Amina. What? Okay. Civs inside civs? Yo, dog. I heard you like civilizations. So we put civilizations into your civilizations. So now we can civilization while you civilization. That's a lot of civilizations. But yeah, that sounds kind of confusing. Like civilizationception? Civception? Like play as Songhai? Like choose Songhai but play as Egypt? Like what does that mean? What does that mean? Play as Egypt by choose Songhai. Like what? That's really confusing. Maybe this is meant to be a leader, but they didn't put in the leader yet? Like, I don't know. I thought at first that this is a leader that you choose. But clearly it's not. It doesn't say play as Cleopatra, it says play as Egypt, but choose Songhai. That's very strange. That's very strange. How can you choose Egypt while choosing Songhai? What else did we have in here? Yeah, ages. Okay, here. Crisis. The age begins, the crisis begins, the crisis intensifies, the crisis culminates. Gain 2 migrants when a city is infected, but minus 25% growth in cities. +5 happiness on altars in infected settlements, but minus 10 gold on altars. That just sounds like a dark age with extra steps or something, but maybe not. +5 happiness in infected settlements with a commander stationed, but -5 happiness in settlements with no altar. Your social policies. +2 food in towns, but -15 healing on all units. +2 science on the science buildings in infected settlements, but -4 gold on science buildings. So you have to choose a crisis policy. Okay? Well, I would like to see more than this. This is not really enough for me to have an opinion, but seems, yeah, a little bit oversimplified. What I want to see is whether something triggers a crisis. Does it always occur? Is it more like Civilization 6's, like Golden Age system? Like, I don't know. Is it more like Era Score? Hard to tell from that. Okay, what else did we have in here? What was that a moment ago? Yeah. And I muted it on purpose, by the way. It's easier for me to focus when there's no sound. We watched it all earlier anyway. Okay, we already saw this. Antiquity Age, Exploration Age. Yes, so hold on. Antiquity Age. On pause.
Cluster into urban centers, forming the foundations of the first civilizations. The Exploration Age.
Exploration Age.
When the desire for precious commodities
and then modern.
Distant lands spurs empires to stretch across great oceans. And the Modern Age, a period of incredible technological growth and global conflict, where mankind goes from the development of the state.
You're seeing this? Wait. That's a train, but it's not actually moving. Okay. So wait, are there only 3 ages? Well, they got nukes. The nuke looks kind of mid. Okay, the nuke looks aggressively mid. Honestly, the humankind nuke look better. Ironically, like the way nukes worked and looked in humankind was, I think, one of the best parts of humankind. Like, no joke. The nukes in humankind were actually scary, both in terms of their effect and in terms of the visuals. I really liked the nukes in humankind. Yeah, only 3 ages seems a little bit weird. Okay, Axum. Historical choice. Kingdom of Natural Wealth. Okay. Naval replacement, +3 combat strength on coast. Culture for adjacent wonders. Okay, it's an improvement. +30% production towards constructing the Great Stele. Okay. And, okay, another one. Historical choice, militaristic, scientific. You can choose an additional pantheon after unlocking mysticism. Well, I guess that kind of confirms religion will be in, because in Civilization 5 it was not in on release. Cavalry replacement, +3 combat strength against other cavalry. Okay, honestly, a lot of these choices sounds like they have less going for them than in Civilization 6. One of the things Civilization 6 has done really well was making various civilizations like very distinct in playstyle. It doesn't feel like they are very distinct in playstyle here, from what I've seen so far. Yeah, I think they are just Civilization 7 districts, or... Yeah, I don't know, it feels weird to me. This doesn't feel distinct enough. But maybe there's more to it. Okay, what's this? Okay, leader attribute. Okay. So can you like customize the leader then? Cultural, diplomatic, economic, expansionist, militaristic, scientific. Okay, and each leader had like 2 different attributes. Militaristic and scientific. It sounds like you can maybe customize it to some extent. You can go one way or the other, or maybe both? No, looks like you can do both. Or you spend the points. Okay, no, it looks like you spend the points. +1 food per age on warehouse buildings. +10% growth rate in cities. Yeah, that's like kind of a boring bonus. +25% production towards training settlers. Yeah, okay, these are just like numbers go up, numbers go down. These are governor trees, kind of. Yeah, maybe. And these are, I assume, techs. I don't know, man. I have very mixed feelings about this. Okay, befriend independent. Inside raid. We haven't really seen combat much. Okay, unlocked by Save Choice Egypt. Yeah, this is the part I really don't like. Requires 3 horse resources. I really don't like some of these options to be locked behind certain things that needs to happen in the game. Especially things that are basically locked behind RNG. Yeah, imagine needing coal for England. Yeah, if there's a civilization that requires coal, well, I guess I'm never playing it. Am I right? Okay, to be fair, I did get coal at some points in time, but... You know, my luck. Again, I do like it visually. The visual style is good. But visuals alone do not carry a game. Okay, did we cover all of it? Here are some units fighting each other. We haven't really seen combat. Like actual proper combat, we haven't seen that. My overall impression is probably the same as most people's right now. A lot of this feels pretty close to Humankind. Like they actually took some ideas from Humankind. And the way I see it, not some of the better ideas. Okay, let's check this. Hold on, go back a little bit again. So that's a new city. Flat desert, okay. We saw city UI here for a moment. Right here, okay, so granary. Is there a tooltip? Give me a tooltip. So that's an ageless building. Yeah, that's a building. Okay, granary. +1 food on farms, pastures and plantations, warehouses, A warehouse food building. Persistent. Can be purchased in towns. Yeah, so this is a building. This is a warehouse food building. So it does look like buildings are all placed on the actual map. The cities got unstacked completely from the looks of it. Which is probably a good thing. Like, I kind of predicted we might see that before this reveal. So it's not unexpected. Yeah, no builder worker tile improvement. I don't know how I feel about that. So there was a lot of micromanagement related to buildings, to builders and workers in Civilization games. So on one hand, removing that means less busy work. But on the other hand, like, I think it's less depth. I really don't know how I feel about that. I really don't know. I have mixed feelings. I have very mixed feelings. Like, I'll be honest. Okay, hold on. So, do you get +1 right here every time you place a building? Is that it? Do you place a new building with each population point? Is that what is happening here? Flood the desert. Yeah, it went to 2 immediately after placing that granary. Workers allow you to store and transfer production to other cities, as in not yet built cities. Okay. Yeah, like, I think you're right. Are there no hammers anymore? Wait, I see a hammer here. Okay, I see like food. This is a hammer, at least as far as I can tell. This is, I think, gold. This is happiness. This is culture. This is science. And not sure what this is. I kind of can't see what this is. But this is food, some production, gold, science, culture, happiness. It's the diplomacy thing. Oh yeah, you might be right. Diplomatic points. I want to see how exactly that works. Okay, you know what I want to see? I want to see whether you will be able to completely destroy buildings in war. Not just pillage them, but completely destroy them as you raid somebody's city. I think that would make sense. I'm curious whether that will be a thing. So, okay, something I would like to see in war. I want to see the option of actually hurting somebody's economy much, much more without taking a city. Without having to actually conquer a city to have the option of occupying it or raising it. So I would like to see an option of actually permanently destroying a building. Not just pillaging it, so that they can repair it almost instantly as soon as you're done fighting. I would like to see an option of actually permanently raising parts of the city without having to actually capture that city and conquer it. That would be fun. That would make wars more interesting. Because the stakes in a war wouldn't have to be actually taking a city or not taking a city. It wouldn't have to be as binary as it is right now. Because sure, you can like pillage tiles around somebody's city and hurt his economy, but I would like to see this concept taken further, like much, much further. It would be fun if it would be possible to just pretty much render the city useless for somebody without having to conquer it. For me, it's a natural step in like the evolution of this system. Time to sack Rome. Yeah, exactly. Sack Rome without actually having to capture it, technically. Okay, expand your city. Add a specialist. Maximum 0 per tile. Picking this tile will give you a plantation. Wait. Okay, wait. What? So this is city growth. When a city grows, you expand your city and select a tile. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. I would need to think about this. But this sounds like you get the improvement automatically. I don't think I'm a big fan of that. I don't know. No, the city can expand further later on, Devilish. We saw like much bigger cities later. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. This feels similar to Age of Wonders 4 system, which I don't mind. I really enjoy Age of Wonders 4. I would actually have to play it to see how it plays in practice. Is that a chicken? Yeah, that's a chicken. Yeah, I would actually have to play it to see how it plays in practice. Because the problem with a lot of these ideas, sometimes you have an idea that sounds great on paper, but it plays terribly in practice, or the other way around. You have an idea that might sound kind of bad, but then it ends up actually playing really, really well. There's only so much we can judge without actually playing the game ourselves. You see, now the city expands like one tile. So you can like have a snake city of sorts. You can have the city snaking around. Alright. Tech unlocked. +3 food, +1 food for each adjacent coastal terrain. That sounds really strong. +1 food for each adjacent lake. What? +1 food for each adjacent navigable river terrain. Okay, what the heck? Garden. That sounds like huge amount of food for one improvement here. Potentially. That sounds like massive amounts of food if you place it on just the right tile. I hate that Civ 6 started to be good after 2 expansions. It's not just Civ 6. It's also Civ 5 and also Civ 4. Like, how many of you guys were here, and not only were here for the Civilization 4 release, you actually remember the state of Civilization 4 on release? Yes, Civilization 4 is now known as a really good Civ, but that's after 2 expansions. It was nowhere near that on the actual release. Same with Civ 5, like Civilization 5 was not good on release. It got much better later on. Yeah, Civilization 4 was really bad on launch. It only turned into more of a timeless classic later on. So I do think it will be pretty similar with Civ 7. And to some extent, it's hard to avoid. Because, well, there's a lot of stuff that got added to Civilization 5 over the years, and then Civilization 6 over the years. But I will be honest, I have pretty mixed feelings about this right now. I would have to actually play myself to judge it, though. I'm not going to judge it positively or negatively, just based on this. But my first impression, like actual first live impression, is not great. Okay, so these look like diplomatic points of sorts. 55 diplomatic points to improve trade relations, 65 to denounce, and 40 for military infiltration, whatever that means. It does look graphic intensive. I'm a little bit worried about system requirements. Did they post system requirements? Did they actually post system requirements here? No. See, that actually worries me. The fact they already have a release date, but no system requirements, actually worries me. Because if they were low, I feel like they would have been posted already. So that maybe I'm a little bit too paranoid. Yeah, maybe I'm paranoid. You can already pre-order the game. You can literally buy the game right now, but you don't know if your PC meets the system requirements. Isn't that weird? Okay, do you guys find this weird? I don't think this happens very often. You can already buy the game. You can pre-order the game right now, but there are no system requirements. So if you are buying the game today, you don't even know if your PC meets the system requirements. That is very odd. Yeah, it's like the deluxe edition is over €100. Founders edition is, wow, holy crap. That's like €130. And I think you need this one to like play early, right? That's like the worst part. Let me check. Did they like hide that information in here? Yeah. So, okay. So you actually have to pay in euro, that's like 430 or something. That's €130. So you have to pay €130 to play on February the 6th. Right here. I hate this practice in the industry right now. I actually actively hate this practice. The fact people accepted this, I know like not everyone, but people as a collective have basically accepted this, so now it becomes the standard in the industry. Like, it's basically becoming a standard in the industry. And I really, really hate this. I really hate this. It's a terrible practice. Yeah, that's 130 euro. That is a lot of money for one game. That is a lot. Crossroads to the World collection, with post-launch content featuring 2 new leaders, 4 new civilizations, 4 new wonders, a special cosmetic bonus and more. Right to Rule collection. Oh no. I think I know what this means. This sounds like they are going to release smaller DLCs instead of big expansions. Does this sound like that to you guys? That's kind of what it sounds like to me. That they are going to be releasing smaller scale DLCs instead of large expansions, like in previous Civilization games. That's what it sounds like to me. No, not similar to Civ 6. Civ 6, every Civ always had a large scale expansions in addition to smaller DLCs. This sounds like they are doing away with large scale DLCs entirely. Maybe I'm being paranoid here. Maybe that's not what this means. But I would think at least the first major expansion should be included in a friggin' Founders Edition that you pay 130 euro for. But maybe I'm wrong. It's possible that I'm wrong. I hope it will turn out that I'm wrong. That they're not doing away with large-scale expansions. Yeah, but like this is the part that I really hate. It's a bullshit practice in the industry, and people should not be accepting this practice. That's my opinion. But the most bizarre thing here, and I would have to check whether any other game has done this, is the fact we have a release date, the fact you can literally buy the game right now, but we do not have the system requirements. So anyone who has an older PC, like my PC is 5 years old, I probably meet the minimum requirements, but I technically do not know this. If you have an older PC, you could actually buy the game today, pre-order it, and then find out a few weeks or months from now that your PC actually cannot play the game because you do not meet the minimum requirements. The biggest one in here is the VRAM. That's the biggest thing. There are quite a few graphics cards that are basically bait. I said this on Discord quite a few times. Anyone who buys a graphics card with only 8 gigabytes of VRAM is getting scammed. Any GPU that's being sold today with only 8 gigabytes of VRAM is a little scam. Like, it's a straight-up scam. If you buy it, you might find yourself literally unable to play certain games. Not just that they will run poorly, they will not run at all. So this is the biggest thing that's missing here. How much VRAM you're going to need for Civilization 7. Because if you need like 10 or 11, there will be a lot of people with 8 gigabyte cards that cannot play the game. So the fact this information is missing here is not good. Like, it's very weird that it's not included here. Yes, they did announce it for PC and also consoles, so I would hope you will be able to play it on older graphics cards. But why did they not say this here? Like, that's the weird thing to me. Why did they not include this information here? Maybe somebody just didn't update the Steam store page yet. Okay, let's look at the official Civilization site. See if they have the requirements there. We'll take a look. So this is the official Civilization site. Civilization 7, learn more. Okay, do they have system requirements somewhere around here? Well, it doesn't look that way. Pre-order now. Okay. Probably at the bottom, if it's here at all. Wait, what? One Fog of War tile set. What? Oh, just like a different fog visually? Okay, whatever. There are no system requirements here. I'm not seeing them anywhere. Progression bonuses require an internet connection and 2K account. What are progression bonuses? The Right to Rule collection contains 6 DLCs, all of which will be available on or by September 2025. Okay, so they will have 6 DLCs out by September 2025. So within the first, 9 months? 8 months. The game is coming out in February 2025. So they will have 6 DLCs out by the time the game is 8 months old. Well, that's a thing. But yeah, there are no system requirements here. Anyway, I want to know what this means. What does this mean? Progression bonuses. What does that mean, Firaxis and 2K? What does that mean? Move your army as one under the leadership of a commander. Unlock progression bonuses for your leader. Okay, it's going to be like Age of Wonders 4 system. The Pantheon system. It's going to be the Pantheon system from Age of Wonders 4. That sounds like it. Yeah. Unlock progression bonuses for your leaders across multiple gameplay sessions. And that requires an internet connection and a 2K account. And Humankind system too? Yeah, maybe that too. But it's going to be something like that. From the sounds of it. I really hope that's going to be cosmetic only. Because if that includes bonuses that affect actual strength of your civilization, like gives you actual gameplay bonuses, that's really bad. That's really bad, because then people who do not have a reliable connection, for example, there are plenty of people like that out there in the world, will be kind of screwed. They will be literally missing out on their potential strength that they could get over time. So hopefully this is only going to be like visual and cosmetic. But we'll find out. What is this about limited players by ages? Well, some of the civilizations were age limited. Wait, hold on. Up to 5 players supported in the antiquity and exploration ages. Wait, what? Okay, I don't particularly care about multiplayer, but it sounds like you could have a player joining a game in progress. So, okay, wait. I wonder if that means you will have an actual new AI-controlled civilization popping up as the modern era starts. Because this, for me, has consequences not just in multiplayer. That's kind of weird. Like, this part is weird. You can only have up to 5 in antiquity and exploration, but up to 8 in modern? Single-age games? Yeah, that's true. That might also be a thing. That might be a thing. Okay, maybe you will be able to play an entire single-player game just like in a single stretched-out age. Now, that could be genuinely interesting if you could set up a single-player game, for example. I still feel weird about only 3 ages, by the way, but okay, let's stick with it. For example, you could set up a single-player game that starts in exploration age and also ends in exploration age, and it's stretched out over like 300 or 500 turns. It's like its own self-contained game, which begins and ends in exploration age. That could maybe be interesting. For some like gameplay variety, it could be good. Anyway, I think we covered like everything that I wanted to talk about at this point. Yeah, I think we covered everything. Anything else we didn't talk about that they showed? Each persona offers a new variant of an existing leader. So 4 personas. 8 profile customizations. Oh yeah, that's like the DLC. Okay. Man, yeah, I don't know how I feel about like these options. 130 euro is a bit much. I'll be honest with you. Okay, if it wasn't the fact that like I run a YouTube channel that's basically built largely around civilization, although fortunately not civilization exclusive because I never wanted to be civilization exclusive, I would not have bought this on release. I don't think so. I definitely wouldn't have paid 550 zlotys, which is 130 euro. There's no way. There's no way I would have paid 130 euro, like, if I wasn't running a channel. Like, no shot. No shot. I don't think I would have done that, even for Civilization. Just my honest opinion. Well, anyway, I think that's going to be it for my live impressions of the Civilization 7 gameplay reveal. I am going to upload this to YouTube tonight or tomorrow for anyone who didn't catch the stream and is curious about my thoughts. I'm sure a lot of people will want to hear my thoughts. So hello YouTube. I don't know if this is going to make it into the video, but hello YouTube. That's gonna be it for my impressions. Okay, well, that was a thing. Here I am. Hello chat. I'm right here. I thought I might use that at some point. Here we are. I actually got to use that. It's the mini me. It's the tiny Marbs. Well, anyway, thanks everyone for coming. This was certainly one of the reveals of all time. I have very, very mixed feelings about it. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all next time. Have a good one.